Hello, I'm Tavia Chandler, and for this week, I read Trends Accelerating Technology Adoption in Museums. So there were long-term, mid-term, and short-term trends. And the one that I focused on is a short-term trend, and it's mobile content and delivery. So I found this one really interesting because it was super relatable as someone who visits museums a lot. It basically talked about how you could learn things that you would typically go to the museum to learn on your smartphone or your iPad or tablet or smart device. So you can basically use it as kind of like an enhancement for your museum experience, which I thought was really cool. They talked about how more museums are now supplementing content online through mobile devices because people can take their laptops anywhere. Everyone has their smartphone on them. So you don't actually have to be at the museum to learn certain information. And then it also works kind of like in a marketing perspective because people get a little view of it on their smartphone or tablet, and that makes them want to go visit the museum more. One of the cool stats that I saw on here was since 2015, mobile data traffic has grown by 74%. And it just kind of put in perspective how swiftly like we are moving in this digital age and how much people really do use their devices for everything pretty much. And high speed internet grew by 20% since 2015. So more people are having access to internet and doing things that they would normally like go out and do on their devices, which I guess can be convenient. But then when you think about it, I guess in other markets, it may not work out as well. But I guess only time will decide that. But it was a pretty interesting article.
Nice.
So my name is Tammy Spino, and I read the 2017 Outlook for Chinese higher education, and it's trends 2 to 3 years. And actually, it kind of fits in with what Tavia was saying. One of the adoptions is it's called qualified self, which when I first read it, I was like, what is that? But it's how we as consumers use our devices to track data. So like when you think about when you use your phone to track your steps, or you use your phone to track what you're eating, or you know what I mean? Um, and how they're looking to, kind of the same thing where you were talking about the museum, and we have our mobile phones everywhere. We use them for everything. They're thinking about using it, or they're trying to use it in schools to track student progress. So that they can, to set goals for the students on their phones or on their smartwatches. And so learning goals and obviously their progress, they're actually using it in China to measure anxiety in patients, which I thought was kind of cool. The other thing I found interesting was something called augmented and virtual reality. So we know what virtual reality like makes a virtual or environment or an experience, but augmented reality layers data on top of 3D images, like 3D spaces. So it allows like you, when you're in that virtual environment, for you to like touch the objects, which I thought was kind of cool. You know what I mean? So they I don't know if you those commercials where they have like the polar bears or whatever, like you could touch them, like that's something I had never heard of. And I thought that was very interesting. And these are all adoptions within 2 to 3 years of now. So.
Oh, wow. No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, were you done?
Yeah, no, I'm done. Go
ahead. Okay. So mine was very kind of had some similarities with yours. So I did the Horizon Report 2016 Higher Education Key Trends in Accelerating Technology. And one thing that I was focusing on was increasing the use of blended learning, so flipped classrooms essentially. So so when you were just saying like they were able to touch, different things in these.
It's actually called blended learning, like that's what they call it.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I was like, it's very similar. Okay. So they're saying how online learning or blended learning is actually like it's taking off. It's becoming more popular. Colleges and universities are using this method. And for students, it's allowing us to, or students to balance that work-family life. And then, it's just more convenient, and it's also more cost efficient. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then instructors can track your feedback, or look at the data and give you feedback and track where you are, and if you're progressing. But another thing kind of related to you was that virtual laboratories allow students to have like risk-free simulations and experiments in the labs, and and they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. And then there was a study that was done at the University of Massachusetts where they were analyzing students and their performance. So they did 3 years of instruction with a traditional classroom, and then the last 2 years of the study, they did a blended and flipped classroom. And after it was all over, they looked at the data and analyzed it, and they said that students who did the blended and flipped classroom increased 12% on the exams compared to the students who were in traditional classrooms. So they said like it's the kids or students are more engaged in learning that way than in classrooms. And then so one last thing to that was the student attendance, like absenteeisms, that we don't have them if they're logging in and we're working at their own pace. So that was something I thought that was it made a lot of sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. I'm
That's
starting to
really
see
cool.
how these Horizon reports are so interconnected. Like,
Right.
Like at first I thought we were reading all separate things, but I read the laboratories too this week about the virtual laboratories. So
Yeah.
they're very interconnected. It's very interesting.
Yes.
They are. That's really cool. Right. Ladies, have any more comments or anything?
No.
Good?
I think we're good.
Cool.
Great. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.